Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. As today we're going to be looking at the Tier 9 American hybrid battleship, the Delaware. Unfortunately, the time has come to have to look at this ship, review this ship. I could have completely ignored it, but I'm grinding up the line and we'll soon be picking up the Louisiana. So I felt it was best to just go ahead and do a Friday highlight on this ship. So this is live, so this isn't any post commentary. And I didn't really feel like I could do a post commentary well for this ship to kind of talk through some of my thoughts behind the ship and seeing it in action. And I'll get into that here in just a little bit. But before we click battle, there's just a few things we're going to do. So hopefully just max 2-ish minutes. One is to talk about these guns. These guns are the same guns that you find on the Iowa. Stay for the rear turret, which just has 2 guns. And I was having to do some comparison and contrast with the Iowa guns and then also the Minnesota guns. And without building into accuracy on any of those 3 ships, the Delaware has the most accurate guns. It has a 1.9 Sigma for maximum and for vertical. Maximum vertical and maximum horizontal dispersion both beat out Minnesota and also the Iowa. And then of course if you begin building into the 6th slot for the negative 11% dispersion, Delaware still ends up being on top. So that was kind of surprising to me when I was comparing, because I didn't really feel like they'd make these guns so good, because I was very frustrated with Nebraska. I do not like playing Nebraska. Delaware has been better. I feel like her guns behave a little bit more than Nebraska, but still at times they leave me rather frustrated. So this ship has a very interesting identity complex. I mean, she's a battleship, but she's not. She's also a carrier, but she's not a carrier. She's not a brawling battleship. She's not a sniper battleship. She's a mid-range battleship, but she does not take damage well. You have 80,800 hit points and an armor layout. It's a lot of 32mm all over the ship. And you quite easily get farmed due to your big flight deck, which has a 38mm deck, but then also the superstructure auxiliary room. So it's been very interesting for me. So this is the build I've been running here. Now, something I'm going to do different today is I have been, how do I say this? I've been disappointed with the guns, like every battle I have, where I'm like, man, like, sometimes they feel really accurate, and other times they just like each turret is aiming in its own direction. Like I just don't get it. So we're gonna take the accuracy, the negative 11% dispersion, and so our reload time is only going to be 30 seconds as a result versus like the 27 seconds it would have been beforehand. So that's something I'm going to change in highlighting this. And besides, when you're flying planes, you're not really concerned about getting that max DPM anyhow. So with these guns being so accurate, supposedly, let's build more into that. And here's my just 14-point commander as I'm training up a new commander on the ship line. This is what I've been running thus far. Let's see, so it's early Friday morning. We'll go ahead and take the AA, and we'll take the speed, 35 knots, and the last thing I need to say is concealment is 13.1. So let's go ahead and go into battle, but there just felt like there's a few things I want to talk about with the ship on a very surface level, and let's wait for the battle to start. Okay, so let's go look up at our ship lineup. So we have no carriers, but we do have 2 submarines, 2 destroyers. Got to watch out for the Sashio torpedoes. Yamato, so got some heavy hitters there, also with Vermont. So we're just going to have to be mindful as we start out here. And we'll just kind of zoom in, get a little closer look on this ship. Now, according to the WoW's wiki article, I didn't compare this beforehand, is that this ship is based on the Iowa class hull and armed with comparable anti-aircraft armament in terms of power, and the warship also has a similar armor penetration system and speed characteristics. So with that being said, let's figure out where we are on the map and how we're going to position. So we're here on Sea of Fortune, domination mode in randoms, and we are on the A flank. So we are going to play accordingly to that. We have a Bilal and a Shimakaze out in front of us. We also have a Thunder and an Ohio. So that feels pretty good. Looks like the cruisers are going elsewhere. Yeah, they're in a division, so. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. One of the things is we're gonna pay attention to what's happening out here on the 1-2 line. As noted, our concealment, go back here, 13.1 by sea and 12 by air. 5.8 kilometer AA, so pretty standard, and we have a main battery gun range of 21.6 kilometers. So this ship, it's not a brawling ship by any means. It's not a sniping ship by any means. It plays best mid-range, and when I say mid-range, I refer to that 12 to 15 kilometer range. However, she doesn't take punishment so well if you're the only one caught out. And that's kind of frustrating because with this ship, you know, sometimes I'll have teammates who are just sitting back. Like here, we have no cruisers. So technically, if we're first one detected, we're probably going to take the most heat because of... No, he went under. Because, you know, Thunder, Ohio, they're both still behind us currently. And we just won't take a sustained gunfight really well in being a tier 9 battleship with all, you know, our health pool differences, you know, 17,000 as compared to the two Yamatos over here. And I have to be very respectful of the Yamatos as well as being respectful of the Venezia, which she's probably going to turn up. He's... Two overpins. I did cut the throttle, so I'm hoping this goes a little too far forward. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Sap you can definitely eat like really big salvos from the sap. We got Yamato shells inbound as well, so another reason to kill the throttle once we've been detected and they start firing upon us. So we've mitigated damage, already up over 200,000 potential damage. So I kind of want to hang here, especially with the Sashio in A, the deep water torps. So I want to see if I can just kind of chill out over here and support my Bilal. Okay, the other U-190's over here. Socato's been in the cap. One of the things too is you only get one depth charge airstrike, so 10 kilometer range. So I'll have to be mindful of that as well. I want to respect Venezia. I don't want to show too much broadside. But to mitigate the sap damage, but okay, there's a Sashio. That question is, okay, so the Sashio is doing kind of what he needs to, and that's to actually just come over here on the 1-2 line. And you know, I've been talking about the ship and we're not realizing, hey, we also have planes. Flimsy, when are you gonna take off with planes? Well, here in just a moment, actually. Let's fly through A and see if we can't pick up the Gato. Okay, there's the Gato right there. Let's pick a pretty big salvo there. And Shima just barely lives and survives through that. Let's spot out things for our Bilal. One of the things that I feel is quite particular with the Delaware's planes is that you're often, you're kind of this team player in terms of the spotting. Okay, he's over here. Now one of the things I probably shouldn't have done is I probably should have just kept the Sashio spotted for my Thunderer player. And now we're too far away from the Gato. Well, I think he's running lead mod Venezia. Where that's a mistake I made. I should have just kept flying above the Sashio and keeping him spotted for my Thunder and Ohio. So that's something that you have to restrain yourself, I would say, where you're gonna want to just farm the damage for yourself. Granted, we only got one bomb, and you know, that's it. Crap. So it's keeping enemy ships lidded for your teammates with the planes. So we need to make ourselves more relevant, but with the Gato, that's going to be very difficult to do. These are the Netsu torps. Yeah, you don't really chase a Sashio with a Thunderer. Okay, we got one overpin. Now what I'm most concerned about is the Gato coming over this way. Now Sashio has already smoked up. Yeah, Gato's coming this way. I'm about to use the
concentrate fire on the enemy warship. The enemy team is
and after you do some maneuvers here.
That's how it's done.
So that's what I think you should do best with the planes. Is just spot for your teammates to make that type of play. Versus leaving that Asashio still alive. Let's switch to high explosive. Okay, this is Ohio's coming in with me. It looks like he's actually getting farmed by Gato. Possibly. Let's switch back to AP. I don't think Islande's gonna get away in your time quick. I forgot he was still kind of hovering around over here. Maybe I should have lowered that a little bit. Well, apparently we got a bullseye. Okay.
Torpedoes to port. Well done, Commander.
You've already the torps. Now the Gato has like a 47-ish second reload on 3 torps. Okay, Venezia is outside of our range. Oh ho 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 ho. We're gonna come out here, and then we're gonna have to turn away. Because I think actually the Yamato and Vermont are gonna be looking at me. So let's wait a moment. There's Vermont. And Bilal's winning. Or Bilal, the Gato, sorry. And the other thing you could be wondering is, why would you chase a submarine? Honestly, I don't know. One of the reasons is I thought he was low. And we did get to slap the Yamato. So I kind of felt I didn't want to just keep running from the sub the whole time. If I'm being honest with my decision thought process there, is I wanted to get him killed. Also so our Ohio can heal back a bit. Let's chill. Maybe we can flip the cap before the Illinois spots us. Let's move further away. Yeah, 13-1 I said. No, the Lende is going to spot us. I don't think I'm going to be allowed to have this cap. Oh, he reversed back behind the island. Sus. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah! Okay, that just reset us completely. I don't think we're going to be allowed to cap. We're going to need to fall back a bit. I do like taking the accuracy. I like taking the accuracy in the 6th slot. I feel like these guns are just behaving more how I would actually want them to. So, that's good. Not sure necessarily what the Nevsky's doing. This Yamato's showing a lot of broadside though. He's going to turn out. Sub has been focused on doing one thing and one thing alone. We might get lucky on the butt citadel. Let's try it. But I don't think I have the pin at this range, and I also knew I'd likely get punished. Okay, I have to go dark. Let's go ahead and burn through this heal, so I can have the next one ready when I need it to. I don't think I'm gonna have to open up on him here. Yeah, that Venezia being left alive is gonna be a big Debbie Downer for us. We're gonna move up and we're gonna use these islands, so that's gonna be the play here. Ah, I think he killed his throttle. Peace. So we're gonna spread that salvo out. Yeah, I was thinking I probably should use that second front turret to aim ahead. Oh, come on. That was so close. That was so close. Yamato. Okay, it could have been worse. Lende is doing what he should be doing. He's playing behind islands. Okay, I think they've got the Vermont. That's unfortunate. They don't want to take any more sap damage if possible. Why am I not using my planes? I'm so focused on trying to give you guys good commentary and not using my planes, but we've had some really good... Oh, fudge. We've had some really good commentary. Crap, I don't actually know if I'm gonna be able to get through here or not. I only need one bomb to land. Fudge. Because I don't like getting so distracted about the planes. Thank you. Now, can we ram him? Because that's what we're going for right now. Possibly. Don't know if I'm going to get it off in time. Come on. Woo!
Destroyed an enemy battleship.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least we forced the Venezia to open up and shoot, even though we didn't get to kill him with the planes, so... I needed to make sure he died. I didn't want him to be lingering around, and then I was just going to trade with Yamato. So I did play that how I would want to. In that situation, one of the things I was trying to really focus on was supporting the Ohio as much as possible. I didn't want to just be distracted flying planes around when I had these 406mm guns at my disposal. And we've only done 2 bomb hits. 114,000 damage with only 28 shell hits, but also the ram on the Yamato at the end. So this is what I would say, because this ship has been very interesting to me to think through. I feel like the planes are a complement to your ship, and use them when you're able to and when the situation allows. Because otherwise, if you're just constantly using the planes, and I've tried this constantly using planes every time they come up, then I just end up missing out on salvos that I think I would have been much more rewarded on with the guns. Yeah, that would be... Think of the planes as an extension of your ship. Because, I mean, you do have good accuracy with those guns. We've built into it a lot more now, and that, to me, has been the sweet spot. I don't recommend building this for this main battery modification 3 for the gun reload, because I've just been disappointed so much with the guns. I'm like, man, they almost were how I'd want them. Or just like the guns just, you know, different shells landing in completely different spaces. You know, like, did that come out of the same turret type of thought process? And having that 6 slots with the dispersion, so much better. So much better. So much better. So that's what I would suggest. Also because they made the guns much more accurate than I initially had realized since I was comparing the ships. So that's something I did want to do, is take the 6 slot dispersion. So just think of the planes as an extension of your ship. That's how this goes. Because this isn't a ship that you play in the back line. It's not a ship that you go really aggro in. I mean, we wanted to go in for the sub because we knew the sub was really low. I think we're going to lose him. Yeah. The sub was really low. And this is the thing, okay? There's not much you can do against submarines. And you don't want to spend the whole match running from a submarine. That's not how I would like playing battleships in World of Warships. But I say that particularly because I felt that sub had used a good amount of dive capacity, and I was hoping to catch him on the back foot. He probably thought we were just going to run up the 2-line or maybe run back south, and then I used the autopilot and went into A. Because I didn't want the sub to just raffle stomp us the whole time. Our sub didn't necessarily do... I mean, he brought the Venezia down, but that's basically all he did for our Bilal. But this division has played really well. For seven kills. This is a game. Man, he even got 3 kills. That's good for him. I'm gonna be featuring that ship soon too. That's some good stuff, as the time's just gonna run out now. But 1.8 million potential damage. We did eat a really big Yamato salvo. That was unfortunate, but I was hoping I could Citadel him possibly through the rear part and the Citadel. But we paid tremendously for that, so that wasn't a good health trade on my part. And probably if I hadn't fired, I could have hung on to a little more health for later. But it worked out. We got the ram off. That was important to get that trade there, and finishing off both the Venezia and ramming the Yamato before time went up. Because by the time his guns had reloaded, we were too close, and he couldn't get it, I think, more into our bow. I don't think so. That was a really close call. Linde probably could have finished us off if he kept focusing us sooner. So, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the post-battle results. We don't need to sit through all this. Okay, so looking at the post-battle results, 214,000 damage, 2 Citadels, a solo cap, 2 destroyed. 31,000 XP because I am grinding for the Louisiana, as I shared. Almost 400,000 credits earning. 3rd place on the team, so that's actually pretty good. I'm going to compliment our Ohio. He played well. He had good manners. We really helped out getting that Asashio. And then we need to compliment this division that essentially carried our team. And they did good stuff for us. And the Iwami too, because he did a bit of work there as well. Yeah, so 2,123 base XP. This is actually, I think, my best game I've had in Delaware, despite the fact that we weren't using planes very much. And I think maybe that's what gets a lot of players in trouble. Or I feel like that's what gets me in trouble. If I focus on the plane so much, then I miss out on some good opportunities. So it's when there's a lull moment in the battle, like after we turned back and we were heading up to 1-2 line, or 2 line, and then the Gato was detecting us. That was a good time to use the planes, right? And then we caught the Asashio out, and I got him spotted. What was our spotting damage? 35,000. What was the ram damage? 38,000. Okay, so we did 40k with the guns and 38k with the ram. So, and credits and XP. So let's just hop back in port. So, oops, that's a little too far. So what I would just ultimately say about this ship is really take the artillery plottering modification too. That just felt so much more rewarding for me, with the guns just feeling like they were behaving. Oh, complimented too. And just use the planes when those down moments in the battle. Like, there was a lot happening there, so I wasn't really focused on using them too much. Also because I wanted to talk with you guys and give you honest thoughts, and I don't multitask in this game super well when I'm also providing live commentary, so that's on me, I guess, in that regard. So, but I hope this kind of gave you a better illustration of the ship and how she can perform. And yeah, that was probably my first actual enjoyable battle I've had in Delaware so far, just because of going for the dispersion with the guns being reduced by -11%. So tomorrow we'll go over the upgrade commander build. I'll go more in depth. I'll talk about that dispersion with the vertical and horizontal, and how these guns perform. We'll look at the armor scheme, and I'll give you my thoughts on the ship more in depth as a whole. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you have subscribed, thanks so much. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.